Reagan, Clint Eastwood, and Bush set out to make Ry Crary's Boy an antithesis, an antithetical statement of wisdom, example of liberalism. A humanist, Wattenmaker sneered. Child of a humanist. Therefore death, because he couldn't hear the scream in the womb. Locked out of a church, why should he ever get to be married? Molested, furiously, slaughteringly mauled. And they couldn't get enough of it. They kept sexually attacking me. Paying for and sponsoring abortions that they considered to be scores of an ideological dimension. And they're still at it in Tacoma with the Richard Roundtree extras. I went to school late in life. I went to college. I eventually got to go to college. All those buzzardly people in Temple who used to laugh at me and work me over got away with it academically because I was deaf. I couldn't finish my classes. I was too deaf. And they badger me through the manipulations of Brian Eno and Yanis very fake is sandbagger media. To aha, a Syrian stabbed some Jews in a synagogue in Manchester. How are you going to confront Tommy Robinson now, little boy? Try to explain why I don't have much of an opinion on that subject. I studied police activities, but I'm not a law enforcement officer. I worked with a mentor from the police department on the problem of Syrian refugees. I concluded that Syrian refugees were owed some asylum because we had created the conditions that they were fleeing. And you could see from Gaza how absurd American foreign policy was under Bush towards Syria. Never mind those Democratic ding-dongs, eminently forgettable what's-their-names. And I'm old. I'm not good with names anyway. So it would be better if they were better people. So at least I would be able to say you forgot my name, not because I'm eminently despicable and forgettable and bland and no count, because you don't pay attention to things. They wanted said that the liberal let the Syrian into Manchester and it killed Jews. So Jews should get special treatment by allowing them to massacre hundreds of thousands of children. And the people who want me to address this most are the people who put together that as what's known as an academic exercise. Don't get your hopes up that the boys from Prodapio, like Stephen Miller, give 2 Fs about 4 Jews in Manchester. What they care about is loyalty to the response mandate of the academic exercise. They have in the past allowed for the murder of bystanders precisely to illustrate UW dialectical thinking. So they put out a little sniff for the liberal. Come play our game, queerball. Show us why you don't put extra emphasis on foreign spies being killed by foreign terrorists in a foreign country. Jews are spies. We can see that perfectly clearly by the way they've ripped off and come to control our government. The way they singled me out and tortured me as a child. The way their gangsters put together the hit on Kennedy and wrote the script of the Texas school book. They're spies. And they get killed by a foreign terrorist in a foreign country, and I'm supposed to put that into focus and limelight. Or guess what, class? I'm just like UW Dialectical, and that gives the local Richard Roundtree extras their cue to summon the rationalizations of Muhammad Ali for going along with Midori Goto and Nelson Mandela and Muhammad Ali, when it became perfectly obvious that if the script of Gail Burstyn were publicly recognized, we would be obligated to go after the AIDS attackers. We would be obligated to take Francesco Albanese to The Hague as a defendant. That's what a joke UW Dialectical people are. They're a joke. The problem of a crime scene is simple enough. You secure the crime scene, you evaluate the evidence, you honor the victims, you investigate, you prosecute the guilty. And that doesn't matter whether they're spies or not. If that's what you're after, do I think police should do a good job investigating the case? Of course. That's what police work is. Police should do their jobs. If you don't want to do your job, don't become a policeman. It's not their job to say that person looks like an extra in a Mel Gibson movie who's supposed to cut the rope at the freight yard. And guess what? He turns out to be from Venezuela. Therefore, he's the one using narcotics on children, dragging them through glass. And if you say otherwise, why, that means you're anti-Semitic. Because the Becker boy pushed drugs on you, tried to kill you with them, and dragged you through glass. And he was a foreign spy. He was a Jew. So we switched the paradigm. Abdul goes on KDKA and says they were Venezuelans. No Venezuelan is innocent. And Miller comes and says the boys from Pradapio praise the police who, without trial, convicted some kids from Venezuela. Without trial. Boys from Pradapio mean business, we hear. What's stopping the boys from Pradapio from staging one of these incidents as an academic exercise so they could say, so we rule out that you matter. We rule out your individual status as a citizen. We rule out that you were entitled to an education, entitled to deference. We rule out that you were poisoned, given Parkinson's, tortured, that your loved one was raped because she was an academic example. That's all. And we make you an academic example because of your refusal to play our UW dialectical sport tonight, queer ball. Go ask Shifty if I passed his class.